year level. We're not going to take a walk through the woods today, but something a little bit different. We're going to look at some photographs. These are all photographs of plants and nature. What I would like you to do is to just select one. Now we're going to, there's 14 in here, so we're going to narrow that down to one. Sometimes that's quite hard choice for people to make. So anything that you think appeals, or yes, I like the look of, or in some way you connect with, we'll get them all out, and then you just discard them one at a time, so you're left with one. That can be a helpful way. So what I'd like to do is to just go through these one at a time, and if you tell me which ones you feel is appropriate for you at the moment, that would be helpful. You want to sort of look at them and hold them and press them back. There is no right way, wrong way round. So is that possible? Yeah, okay, so that's in the maybes. Maybe file. And what we've done here, it's a little bit like, we know we want to be uplifted and go somewhere different, but we haven't decided whether we want to go for a walk in a field or in a wood or a forest or along the coast. So this is an important thing, this is an important part of the process of tuning in. So what I'm going to ask Suzanne to do now is to just look at the ones that are maybes. These are little maps of journeys. And just sort of fairly quickly sort of make a decision which one needs to come out. You've spent a long time feeling those photographs because of your level of sensitivity. So it's okay, which one needs to come out? Okay, so which one needs to come out? Different things, different values. So if you want to turn around and tell me which way you can, what I'm going to ask you to do, Suzanne, if you don't mind, is to just go into that lovely meditative state that you do, that relaxed, soft focus, just notice that go into the picture. And as you become part of the picture, and that picture becomes part of you, you may well see figures, shapes, beings, whatever. If you could just voice, and I don't want you to be able to think and analyse what you're seeing. I'm just explaining this so the rest of the group can understand the process. Because if you start to analyse it, you're actually being very left-brained about it, as an analytical. What we're working with is the white hemisphere of the brain, that intuitive side. So just speak everything that comes out. And all I'm going to do is to just write that down. So whenever you're ready to start.
Can you speak up? Yeah, sorry. The top bit is on here. Sorry, because I just got drawn to this one that's bent over. As you look around, are there any groups?
Within as far as you can see.
Because it just depends which way you hold it up, doesn't it? If you hold it up this way, it looks, it's not down that way, it's that way. It's the way you can see it. Mm-hmm.
The photographs we've just looked through are the ones that are specific for her or for you later on to work with in the way that is relevant for you at that moment in time and is completely different to the way anybody else will. In working with the photos and the essences, they're very specific because what we're going to do now with Suzanne is to ground that knowledge and that information so that she can assimilate it. So we need to know which of the essences that is, and we can find out how appropriate that is at particularly. So you can see them all, and then I'm going to come back, and as I come back, we'll say, yes, that's the one. Okay? So as I'm going to come back through now, you're going to tell me which one it is. Right, this essence, do you really want to hold it, or have a drop on your wrist, or do you want to drop on your wrist? These essences are made in exactly the same way as Dr. Batch's essences, so they can be taken in the same way. So what I'm going to do, Suzanne, is to just read to you exactly what you said. Okay? We're not going to go in and analyse any of those bits unless you want to talk about it. If you do, that's fine. I'm just going to read through, and this should make sense. Firstly, you said at the top there is a lion. The whole thing is a lion, and there's a fairy on its back. There's also other nature spirits there. The background is lighting up, and the colours are coming in. There's peach, and there's pale greens. And then you know. You said you were drawn to one that was bent over, and that really made you laugh. And you said, that's how I felt since the treatment yesterday. And I asked you if that one had a message for you, and then you started to cry. So you're going through emotional release, and I handed you the tissue to be crying. You said the message was saying she's still alive. It might be that way down, but she's still alive. I asked you if there are any beautiful shapes or objects around her, And you said there's one, and it's like fusion. It's like all the energies are in the middle of it. And then you started to climb out. You then went on to see a horse galloping at the top of, and it was a golden horse, breathing out. You breathed out again a sigh of relief. And I asked you if there was anyone riding that horse, and then you kind of like went, and put your hand over your mouth. And you went, ooh. And then your hand touched your heart. You looked really, really surprised. And then you said it's about energies. You turned it round again and you said there is an attachment of the mane. It's a bird's head. It's a golden bird with a golden wing and the head is black, but the bird is gold. It's got a connection to the flower in its beak. It's pulling something off. It's pulling it down or pulling it down. It's strange. And then you said it's changed something. And I said, what's it changed? And you said something's let go in your heart. Recognise something and then turning it round again and again and again. You said at the centre that the bigger flower is getting brighter and there was a face in it now. And you really smiled at it then. I said, did it have a message for you? And you said, it's just very loving. It's just another aspect of the lion's mane. And you said, it's wise, really wise. It's different. It's able to be all kinds of states. And then you went, ooh. And you had again. And you said the endings and the fluffy bits are all pulsating. Feels like a cat, and then it changes. It's a young cat, and then a wise cat, and then it changes. At that point, you came out. Now, Suzanne is sitting here now, going, I don't know at this point as a therapist whether she needs any help in understanding that. I would sense not. Suzanne, does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, it all makes sense.
When somebody goes into this, there were times when she was very quiet. And you as a therapist, you'll have the sense of, is she quiet because she's absorbing from the picture? If she is, we need to ground it. It has to be voiced so I can write it down to read back, because it's that reading back, it's her assimilation of it all, which is why she's got the essence to help her with that. But there are occasions when I would prompt, if she's got a being in there, has that being got a message for you? How's that being make you feel? Are there any gifts with that being? And that can be shapes. When I did this with my ex-husband, he saw the shape of an anvil. The gift was an anvil in his pictures. And what that meant to him was, because after the business went, he had to change his tools. Anvils are what you shape the tools on, aren't they? And he had to use his skills, but in a slightly different way. So the gifts are quite important. There was a lot of emotional releasing. Suzanne was letting go, and the crying came, and that's wonderful. When you can get that to happen, you know that something is shifting. Crying tears, energy, emotion, releasing, letting go. What a fabulous gift that was being brought to her through that. Who's the buddy or the therapist? Your role is to stand back and just be with them. Not to interpret, not to analyse. You're not Jung or Freud or whoever. It's that person with children, because children won't always. No, it's a different process with children. If we have time today, and I don't know because we'll just explore the dynamic, but we'll go through the children's process, which is different. We'll just see how today. How'd it go? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody not enjoy it?
I can't say that I enjoyed it per se, and I can't say that, as I'm saying to John, I can't